The immortal John Hancock here, and today I'm talking about Black Friday deals. Is it worth the hassle? Now, every year this comes and goes, and there's some crazy awesome deals, and a lot of people freak out, and some people don't care, and you have to determine, is it worth it for you to deal with it? Now, as time goes on, there's lots of options to get games, both online and in person. And there's just a metric ton out there to buy. I think this is going to be a great year to get deals, because there's lots of products and not all of them are going to sell great. So, all right, here's my thoughts on things. You know, I see this. I've been gaming and collecting for a long time, and there's some things that just happen every year, and it's good to keep an eye out for them, and they might be worth it to you. So let's first talk about console bundles. Console bundles, it seems like, come out every year. The big one I think that's on the radar this year is the Spider-Man PlayStation bundle. I think it's a terabyte PS4 with Spider-Man for $200. I've had a lot of people comment to me about that. I think that's a great deal. And what's great about getting a Black Friday deal like that is you're getting a console and a good game. And so sometimes they have these Black Friday deals and they have, you know, the game is okay. And it all depends on what you think a good game is. But sometimes, you know, you have a console bundle or a cheaper console with an alright game. So you have to determine what's better for you. There's some other great bundles out there looking around. There's $100 off Xbox One X. And there's an Xbox One S Creators Bundle for $200. Again, those $200 console deals, that's kind of the sweet spot. That's a great gift price. And so, you know, if you haven't picked up an Xbox One or a PS4, getting a Black Friday console deal might be worth it to you. And that all depends if you're willing to deal with the crowds and deal with, you know, limited supply here and there. You might be able to go online and get the same deal and not have to deal with any of that. All right, so there's also, you know, a couple Switch bundles. There's not a significant discount on the Switch, which I think that may affect sales a little bit, because you can get other consoles cheaper. And even though it's comparing apples and oranges, it would have been nice to see a cheaper Switch bundles available for the holidays. Now, if you're going with other Nintendo consoles such as the 2DS, you can get some great deals. In fact, you know, I've got 2DS bundles for my kids years back and loved it, and they still play them to this day. My son still plays Animal Crossing on his 2DS. It's a great console, and you can get bundles with software in the $80 range. I think that's awesome. All right, so there's other things that are going on major discount for Black Friday, and let's talk about PSVR. So PlayStation Virtual Reality headsets, there's several bundles out there. Now, I don't have a love or hate relationship with the PSVR. I kind of predicted that it wasn't going to do great. And I think it's in that medium category. You know, I'm not here to bash on it. I'm not here to say that it was a great seller, because I don't think it was. I think it sold, you know, it has sold okay. And like Sony's done a pretty good job at continuing to support it. And so they have some great holiday bundles out there starting at $200. Now, originally it was $400, now it's $200. It's important to note that there's some different versions of headsets out there, but there are some great bundles with software, and there's a great $250 bundle that includes the controllers as well. It's those motion controllers, which I'm not a huge fan of. You need those for some PSVR games. And so I think it's cool. I think you have to ask yourself, you know, am I going to play this a lot? Is this just, you know, an add-on that I'm not going to use a lot? Or if you're really invested in it, and I know my good friend John Riggs, he's huge into PSVR. He'd say, go for it. He's wanting me to get one. I'm on the fence. I don't have one yet. I'm like, you know, I typically don't buy myself anything November, December. That's the other thing, is that, you know, if I could throw that out there, it's hard as gamers to resist good deals, but if you buy yourself things, then nobody can get you things. And so I typically don't buy anything for myself, typically in November, December, unless it's a deal or a prearranged deal. So anyways, all right. So yeah, the PSVR for $100 off at GameStop. I think Walmart's got the $200 deal. There's many places selling this stuff. So I'm going to talk about just deals in general because there's many places online and in person that are offering kind of the same bundles and deals. So yeah, PSVR is definitely something to consider. I think it's a decent holiday bundle if you're interested in getting it. I've had a lot of my friends talk about it. I think for me, I'm more interested in like the movie aspect. I know Riggs brings up the 3D Blu-ray aspect, and Pacific Rim he says is awesome. So I'm intrigued by it. I'm definitely being nudged closer to consider getting one. But the big thing, I would say for me, the number one thing I look out for Black Friday deals is controllers. Now controllers, and you know what, I'm also going to put memberships, and that's, you know, the PlayStation Live, Xbox, you know, the online gaming service for both PlayStation and Xbox. Those are typically always $60, but not for Black Friday. Online and in person, you can get these for typically $20 off, both the controllers and the memberships. And these are really important. You know, these are the types of things that typically gamers don't want to buy for themselves. These make great gifts. And Black Friday is a time to get them. I always look for, especially like a color or maybe a limited edition, something that goes on sale. Unfortunately, when it comes to controllers, typically the plain ones are the ones they discount in price. But every now and then they have the colored controllers at the same price. DualShocks are typically $60, and they aren't on Black Friday. They typically are $40. And you know, online memberships for both Xbox and PlayStation, $60. You can get those, you know, $40, $35 if you hunt online as well. So that's a great time. Those are things that people typically don't like to buy themselves, and so that to me is worth getting and shopping for. That's a significant discount and something, you know, especially if you're shopping for gifts. You're going to save some money. All right, so there is a metric ton of games that are on sale at this time. And the simple premise is that last year's games are going to be really cheap, and this year's games that came out a little bit before the holidays, maybe in the fall, maybe in the summer, are going to be heavily discounted. Also, keep an eye out for things that didn't sell well. You know, you're going to have, let's look in here, I'm looking down my list here, you have stuff like the Starlink. The Starlink's already going to be discounted. I don't think it sold totally great. And so that's going to be discounted on half. You can get that for like $35. You're going to have earlier games that came out, games like Far Cry 5. You have God of War. And the other thing too is if you don't care about physical, you can get digital codes even cheaper. I think the God of War code is like $21.99 on the PlayStation Store. That's awesome. And so games is kind of a tough one because yes, it's the cheapest they have been available to date, but you don't know if they were even going to get cheaper used. And so sometimes I'm kind of on the fence about getting something. I mean, some people just appreciate getting a new game for a gift, and it's really nice to have that game, you know, and have it brand new for a gift. You know, but used for me is fine. I don't care. I mean, a lot of my games in my collection are used, so I don't care. So, but in the used price might be cheaper. Also, it's important to note that it's good to visit Ma and Pa stores on Black Friday, and that they have sales as well that aren't heavily advertised nationwide, and they may cut some crazy deals, especially on retro games and stuff, which is important. So there's a ton of games, new games, that are going to be heavily discounted. You have to hunt around for what you want. I looked at GameStop and I saw that, you know, they even have Horizon Zero Dawn, and that's like $10 now. That's crazy deal. That's crazy cheap. I love seeing that. You know, the new Black Ops is already down to $35. It's also, you have to research too that if a game that has such a large online infrastructure, to make sure people are still playing it. So you may save a bunch of money on a game, but only to find out that less people are playing it and it's not fun to find a match or something. So really keep that in consideration. I also saw Diablo here, the Eternal Collection was less than $20. That's awesome. So there's a ton of games. I'm not mentioning all the games. Far Cry 5, another game that's heavily discounted. Destiny 2. These are, you know, bigger games that are going to be heavily supported and they're going to be cheap. And it's a great additional thing that you can get, especially if you're getting a bundle deal. And significant discount. I do think, especially if you're getting gifts from multiple people, I think Black Friday is worth it to get some of these games, because you're not going to find that deal in volume any other time of the year. And so it's worth checking out. Definitely might be worth dealing with the crowds or trying to hunt online to see if anything's in stock. So, is it worth the hassle? It all depends on what you're buying, who you're buying for. For yourself, I'm going to say it right now, I would wait. If you're buying for yourself during Black Friday, I don't know. Is anybody else trying to get you a gift? Is that anybody else's love language? And so typically I think it's important that, you know, this is a time to give to others. And so me personally, I'm buying a lot of stuff for my kids and for friends and family and stuff. And it's a time for me personally to give to others. And so I try to get Black Friday deal here and there, but my Black Friday hunting and shopping has gone way down. I mean, first and foremost, I have anything I ever wanted in my life ever. And so for me, you know, a new game, a shiny object or something, it's awesome. But you know, that deal, that have to have it kind of feeling is not there, especially for new game items, knowing that eventually they'll be cheaper down the road. And so it's really, you have to consider that dealing with Black Friday madness. It is stressful. I don't like big crowds. It can get kind of crazy. I've seen videos online of people getting really out of hand. But you can maybe just go the online route. You also have Cyber Monday, which is becoming very, very popular. And so there's that option. You might be able to go to a local mom and pop store that has less crowds. You know, I'm blessed to have several game stores right in town. And so really happy to have that in the event. And I'm sure they're going to have some Black Friday specials as well. So that's some things to think about. You have to determine for yourself is it worth it. And for me, I'm kind of on the fence. Yes, I like to get a good deal, but I'm really looking for a good deal for gifts. And I don't have a ton of people to buy for. I have my kids. My son, while he loves games, he's really into fireworks, and New Year's Day is the safest time to launch fireworks off, and so he likes fireworks, and so we're waiting for that. And my daughter loves games, but she just mostly plays the games that whatever I have on, and she's happy to play that. She likes Madden, she likes NBA 2K19, and she's playing Street Fighter 4. So those are some games that she's playing currently, and yeah, that's about it. So what are you looking forward to? What are the Black Friday deals that you are after? Is it worth it to you? Comment below. I'd love to hear back as I march towards 70,000 subs. I'm like almost there, and I want to say thank you to everybody who supported me along the way. It means the world to me. And you know, I just wanted to talk about Black Friday. It comes and goes, and everybody has an opinion about it. I gave you mine. Thank you so much. This is the Immortal John Hancock. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You take care.